Alright, so I apologize that I'm not wearing the, and the other thing, but they're over at the other set, and now you get tired Matt, who looks like shit because he just got back from a very long weekend without any marsupials trying to kill me. Ha ha ha! It's a little inside joke for those who saw that damn review. And just got back from work today. It's been tiresome and totally worth it, but very tiring. But I wanted to make a vlog on my experiences at Shadocon. So basically, Shadocon was an anime convention in Tampa, Florida, from November 11th to November 14th, I think, and it was pretty fun. It's the second year that it's been doing this. It's pretty small by normal convention standards. I mean, it's definitely smaller than like MagFest. It's smaller than like the Phoenix Comic Con. Those are like the only two cons I've been to. Infinitely smaller than like the New York Comic Con, the San Diego Comic Con, whatever. But there was still actually a lot to do there, and they did really put on a good little program. Normally, I wouldn't go to one of these things. I wouldn't fly, halfway across the country just to go to one of these, to a small con. I'm not typically a con guy, even though I enjoy going to them. I don't go to as many as I would like to go to. But the special thing about this one was that Reviewtopia, the site that technically I've always been affiliated with, even before and after my stay at That Guy with the Glasses, Reviewtopia was going to have its first panel. And there was a whole bunch of people that were coming out, friends of mine, people who I've known for at least a couple of years doing this, that were all going to congregate together and do this. And it just sounded like a really fun opportunity to A, meet people, and B, support Reviewtopia's first panel. I mean, it was a pretty big deal. You had Nick Gibson fly up all the way from Australia to be at this thing. You had Ilnej, Garrett, who I later found out to be is one awesome son of a bitch. You had the Easy Rider, Easy Peterson, really cool guy, really cool guy. We got to do a crossover, which will probably end up coming out before the end of the year, maybe. It's nothing too big, but it was a lot of fun to do. Of course, you had the Shades and Lady Keiru, his wife. Very, very, very lovely people. You will not get much lovelier than Lady K. She is one hell of a woman. She kept that whole thing together. It was pretty cool. And John is John. John is just one smart, great guy. He's been a very good friend of mine for quite some time, and it was a real honor to finally get to meet him. And he was another guy who just really, spearheaded everything. I mean, a lot of this, I think, if I'm mistaken, I apologize, but I do believe that everything that has happened, the panel and stuff like that, was due to John being like, you know what, I want to do something. I think we should do this. And he got Lady K involved, and they pretty much were the organizers of this whole event. And God, they're running around like chickens with their heads cut off. Most of the time, but that would insinuate they didn't know what they were doing, but they did know what they were doing. They were just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Very, very busy, very, very busy. But as far as I know, they had a good time too, so that's really all that matters in the end. And then you have TJ Omega. Good grief, that guy. I've talked to TJ briefly, just here and there. I mean, he likes Kamen Rider, I like Kamen Rider, so of course, in a community this small, one Kamen Rider guy's going to talk to somebody else. And here's this guy, with his 10,000 YouTube subscribers, and all of his DX Kamen Rider gear, and, and his long Fabio hair, and there he is, in all of his freaking glory. And what does he do? He just acts like the most decent human being alive. I wanted to like the guy. I really, honest to God, did. I mean, unfortunately, I got to spend like the majority of the last day with him at the con, and my God, it was just like the most you know, nicest experience, you know, nicest conversation I probably had at that whole con bar with the Revutopia guys, and you know, I don't know if I can forgive him for that. And of course, you know, his friend too, Danielle. You know, perfectly decent human being, friendly as can be, awesome to talk to, loves Buffy and Angel, which, by the way, I'm actually a pretty big fan of, and I don't really have that many people to talk to about that, so, you know, we kind of geeked out about it. Why she would be hanging out with TJ Omega, I have no fracking idea, but she did, you know, and together they're, you know, well, besides TJ, you know, decent people, but, no, I like him, he's a cool guy, he's a real cool cat. Anyways, and then of course, Nick's girlfriend, Kate, I believe her name was, very, very, very nice person, and, of course, cannot forget to mention a special guest. He was a special guest, friend of mine, in fact, and I've known this guy for quite some time. He was my title card artist on That Guy with the Glasses, and I met him through of the fact that he wanted to do an interview with me, Oscar Alonso. And Oscar was a really nice guy. I mean, I've talked to him quite a bit, and I'm sorry I'm gushing over all these people, but Oscar's a guy who I would totally hang with any day of the week. He's a very blue-collar, Cuban, of Cuban descent from Jersey, who collects Transformers. He spent at least $200 on Transformer figures while we were there. He's this big, tough brute of a guy with a geek heart, and very, very, very awesome individual. He's doing work right now for a project of mine. He's doing concept artwork, and it was a real honor to meet him. In fact, you know, just kind of going back down the line, just kind of sharing personal thoughts on people and situations. I mean, this whole thing's going to be edited into a whole bunch of different things, and then I'll get to the actual con and stuff and the events there. But like, you know, I can gush and I can tell you, oh man, these were great people, and it's going to get redundant. But the fact of the matter is that I was very, very pleasantly surprised by everybody there. It was really, really cool to be hanging out with these guys. You know, some of which I had talked to before and knew and got to know better, and other guys who I never even talked to or talked to very little, like Garrett and Tyler, and come to find out that they're extremely funny, extremely cool dudes to hang out with. And we had a really good set of people there. I mean, as opposed to like MagFest, you know, I mean, MagFest was a lot of fun because of the fact it's like, I'm going to MagFest to go meet everybody that I watched on That Guy with the Glasses for like the past 3 years. And that was a really cool experience in of itself. But truth be told, I was maybe friends with like, you know, 2 people that were there, well, that were on That Guy with the Glasses. And, you know, I met up with a couple cool guys there too, and that was really nifty. But, you know, with this, there was more people, and I liked the con itself better than MagFest, because I thought the energy levels at Shadocon were a lot stronger than they were at MagFest, but that could also be just my own personal taste. So you had these great group of guys come together, and got to room up with Oscar, Easy, and Garrett. And that was fun. That was a lot of fun. It was really quite fun. We had gotten, I think, like Italian food or something like that, and we were eating, and we were all pretty tired. I think it was like Saturday night. And we were like, you know, let's put something on TV, and we flipped on, I think it was HBO, and Chronicles of Narnia, the last one, the Dawn Trader, whatever the hell it was on. And we're sitting there watching it, and Garrett starts going off, like, he starts riffing it. And he was making, you know, pretty funny comments. There was this one kid, he was the main character of the thing, and this kid was just fucking weird looking. He had, his eyebrows were like arched, like McDonald, you know, the McDonald arches. I mean, he looked like a human rat, and he wasn't supposed to be like a monster or anything, or some denizen of Narnia. He was, you know, just a little English boy who looked really fucking strange, and that's kind of how it all started. So Garrett's going, and Oscar all of a sudden joins in, and Oscar does a shit ton of voices. He has a YouTube channel. He does videos all the time, and he has very much a wide variety of voices and characters that he can pull off. And before you know it, we're all sitting here eating, and we got like this Mystery Science Theater thing going on between Garrett and Oscar, and it was hysterical. It was funny as hell. Easy was throwing in a few quips in there. You know, I occasionally, you know, got some in, but it was mostly miss from me. But those two, like, it was great. And rumor on the street is that they might actually be trying to do something like that in the future. They might, you know, take a movie and riff on it or something. And again, I thought it was really funny. They did a really good job. And it's hard to make a funny riff. It really is, to make it legitimately amusing, in my view. So, okay, so, you know, I got to the airport on Thursday, which was the day before the con, and Lady K picked me up, and I'm sorry, but I did not realize how short Lady K was. She's about, I would guess, like 5'2", 5'3", maybe. You know, I talked to John more than I ever have Lady K, John being the Shades. And honestly, Lady K is, she's fucking awesome. She is a sweetheart. Very tough, very, just, she can either be, you know, one of the guys, or she can, you know, just go straight into, you know, hugging mode. Oh, I'm worried about you. I don't want to leave you at the airport by yourself, kind of thing. You know, she picked me up, and she had been running around all that day, you know, picking up Tyler and Danielle, because they live like 4 hours away. I'm not quite sure where they lived in conjunction to John and Tampa and all that. It was another city. I don't know Florida, obviously. You know, again, kind of like how I was saying before, you know, she was running around all weekend long, trying to, you know, or not trying, but getting footage and getting people together and getting the food that we needed to have inside the hotel rooms. And, you know, and she appeared stressed at times, and, you know, my God, of course she's going to be, because, again, she's running back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And, you know, honest to God, she never really ever lost her cool, ever. And she is just, she's a sweetheart. Absolute sweetheart. And I keep on saying that John's a lucky dude, because, again, she's really, 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 really cool. And I didn't meet John until later, but, I mean, since we're talking about his wife, let's talk about John. John is a guy who, he's a very hard worker. Like, when he gets his mind set on something, like, you know, he has a vision of what he wants, he's going to go for it. And he was really taking charge of, you know, the whole gang. They had a lot of film shoots going on this entire weekend. I did not participate in the main shooting. I had cameos, and my biggest thing was with Easy, which was actually pretty short. But I had actually declined to have bigger parts in these videos. Because, you know, I'm that guy with the glasses. I'm too good for these Reviewtopia types. Actually, it didn't have anything to do with that at all. I really wanted a vacation. I didn't want a shoot weekend. You know, this was a weekend to have fun. This was not a weekend of, oh boy, did we get that shot, or oh, I flubbed my lines, and the frustrations that just come with shooting. You know, I mean, I've been there, done that countless times, and I just wanted to kind of chill this weekend. So I had it very, very chill when I just literally did, like, you know, one-take cameos, which were fun. They were a lot of fun to do. And I'm looking forward to the videos that come out, because these guys put a lot of work into it. You know, there was some very big stuff that they had planned. But back to John. John was kind of, you know, just organizing everything. He was the go-to guy. He was the guy that, you know, okay, guys, you know, we need you here by this time so we can head to the panel and blah, 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 blah. And between him and his wife, you know, it was like, you know, they had it, you know. They didn't need anybody else to really kind of cover the bases because they each covered their own. And, you know, again, John's just a really good friend. And it was really, really awesome to meet him. And hopefully it won't be the last time. In fact, it's not going to be the last time. But again, going down the thing. So, you know, Lady K picks me up and, you know, takes me to the hotel. And I think it was the Crown Plaza, Tampa East. And the hotel was actually very nice. It was 5 stories. You know, not ghetto in the least. It was very, you know, very spacious, and it never ever really felt like it was, you know, too crowded or anything. You know, always someplace to sit if you're, you know, in the con and, you know, you're just kind of winded and you just want to kind of find a corner to just kind of chill out in. Plenty of that stuff. The clerks, I don't know if you call them clerks, but the people at the counter, you know, very nice individuals. So, and I give them props for handling all the weirdness of that weekend. So, you know, hats off to you. But get there, and that's when I met Tyler and Danielle. And I had, again, I had only met, I talked to Tyler very briefly on Skype, and really didn't really have a real sense of who he was and what he was about and stuff. And he had pretty much like, you know, when you get 2 strangers that don't know each other, there has to be that one thing that just all of a sudden sparks conversation. And the one that immediately, it was probably literally only about 10 minutes after we had, you know, initially met and stuff. He was, well, you know, Matt, I brought, you know, an entire bag full of Kamen Rider gear. And I'm like, dude, bust it out now. And he had a whole bunch of belts, and different, you know, various items of Bandai toys from Kamen Rider. And as you know, I'm a huge fan of Kamen Rider, and I do like the toys. In fact, despite the fact that I don't really collect as much as TJ or anything like that, or Easy for that matter. You know, I just recently bought the Hyper Zector and the Perfect Zector to go with my Kabuto belt. Why? Just because. I don't have any plans to use them as props or anything. I like them, so, you know, of course I'm going to shell out like $200 for them. But really cool toys. He had like all the core medals from O's, and you know, that just opened up conversation about stuff. And then Danielle, his friend, turns out, you know, her favorite writer was Decade, and I was like, you're my new best friend. And again, you know, just kind of reiterating what I said before, Danielle and Tyler, Tyler and Danielle, I could talk to those guys for hours, and I did actually on the last day of the con, kind of like what I was mentioning before. Everything was kind of winding down, and Danielle was out in, it's like this little, like, I don't know, it's like it's not really a dining area, it's right next to the bar, so you can go there and chill out. And she was there, and I had seen TJ and her there before, but TJ went off to Doug Walker's panel. I'll get to that in a little bit. And everyone was just about, and despite the fact that there was a lot of stuff to do at the con, once you'd kind of done it all, after a while, it's like, you know, I can only go through the merch area so many times, and there's really no panels I want to go to. So I got to chill with her for at least a couple hours. And God, we talked about everything from Buffy and the Vampire Slayer and Angel to tokusatsu and horror movies. I mean, it was really, really cool. And I was sitting on this it's like this platform where they had this piano and they had some plastic plants and stuff. And as I'm talking to her, all of a sudden I hear this thud, and I look behind me, and I wish I could just get a picture of it. But there was TJ. He had jumped up on the thing, and he's like, I don't know, maybe 5 inches away from me, you know, kind of like doing like the gorilla pose. I mean, besides it just being funny, there were, you know, these plastic plants I just mentioned, but they were just spaced out just right that it literally, you know, to me it looked like TJ could have just walked off like the set of freaking like Tarzan or something. He had the hair going and everything. He looked like TJ the Wild Man, and that was pretty funny. And if there's one thing that I can say about Tyler, is that he has the most funny deadpan remarks that you will ever see, and that is one thing that I could just tell immediately. I'm like, I'm gonna really enjoy this guy. I mean, besides all the common interests, you know, I have a tendency to just go off the wall with, you know, all sorts of disgusting humor or whatever, and this guy, without missing a beat, would always just play along and just add to it. And make it even, you know, more funny or more disgusting or more disturbing or whatever, all while keeping an entirely straight face. You know, he joined up with the conversation, and, you know, we just talked about Kamen Rider and a whole bunch of other, you know, things. He made the comment in the car, he's like, I'm glad you don't get on Skype more often, because I have a feeling we'd, you know, probably like talk a lot. And truth is, he's absolutely right. He's a great dude. In fact, there is a crossover, I say crossover in quotes, that we filmed that I'm looking forward to. I hope it's as funny as I thought it was. Don't get your hopes up, but I'm looking forward to what he has. But that was really cool. So after meeting those two, eventually, I believe it was Nick and Kate, his girlfriend, walked in. Now the thing about Nick, truth is, we would not be, nobody would have been there had it not been for Nick. Nick was the mind that created Extreme Network Online that eventually turned into Revutopia. I mean, along with the Geek Fighters, yes. But Nick brought me on to Extreme Network Online. Nick is the reason why I met John the Shades. Nick is the reason why I met Joey Rue of Clan of the Grey Wolf. Nick is the reason why, in my personal opinion, that, you know, my name started to flow out there. You know, in the early years, he had the foresight to get a good group of people together. And, you know, he originated Star Hack. That was an idea of his, and Star Hack to this day remains my personal favorite review that I've done, because I think it's not about what I think about Star Hack, but he had foresight, and if it was super appropriate that he was there, because, you know, he got this band together. You know, this is his doing. And he was a cool guy. I mean, it's pretty funny, you know, and talking about kangaroo meat and wallabies and emus and everything Australian. And he flew 40 hours out from Australia, you know, to Florida. I mean, props for that. I mean, I thought my 4-hour flight, 6-hour flight from Phoenix to Tampa was long. And his girlfriend, Kate, I hope I'm saying your name right. I'm really sorry if I'm not. I'm so bad with names. She was a sweetheart too. Very nice. Very nice. She had I knew she was going to be cool because she busted out, when I first met her, she busted out a Harry Potter wand and a Doctor Who thing. Don't get mad at me for not knowing what it is. Everybody has it. Linkara has one. Obscurus Lupa has one. Kate had one. Everybody. A sonic screwdriver. That's what it is. She had a sonic screwdriver. I'm not a Doctor Who fan, so don't get mad at me. And then later on, John and Easy came in. And Easy's a guy I'm really glad I got to meet, because Easy, when I was kind of looking around way back when I was first starting this whole thing, Easy was the one guy who I noticed that was doing tokusatsu. And, you know, we've done crossovers together, and I've talked to him plenty of times and stuff like that. And, you know, he brought about just as much stuff as TJ did, in terms of, like, gear. He had a lot of Power Ranger stuff. He had some Kamen Rider stuff. He had, like, the Skull Magnum from Kamen Rider Skull. And it was really cool to meet him and to collaborate with him, to shoot with him, to actually, you know, be face to face and to shoot the, I think he's calling it the Final Showdown, which Fortunately for you, does not involve any epic After Effect fights or anything like that. In fact, it's I'm not going to spoil it for you, but I think it's pretty appropriate what goes down in that video. And it was a nice kid. He really was. I say kid. He's as old, if not older than I am, but he was a good guy.